Hi, my name is Guy White, and I'm a volunteer at the National Museum of the U.S. Army. Well, the Army's been a part of my life as long as I can remember. My dad served in the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II in the China-Burma-India theater. I had uncles who were in the military, both in World War II and in Korea. And it was a natural place for me to go when I was choosing college and programs of instruction, ROTC, and so forth. I was convinced with the combination of all those things of the value of Army service, and I was excited about the opportunity to be part of the team that's telling the Army story at the National Museum of the U.S. Army, and happy to be close enough to be part of that when the museum opened. My favorite artifact is the Quad 50 mount in the Cold War Gallery. My service in the Army was as an Army air defender, and of the short range variety, serving with divisions and corps. So the Quad 50 represents sort of the foundational element in the evolution of 20th century air defense artillery. Its evolution from World War II through Korea to Vietnam demonstrates the Army's innovative ability and its ability to evolve weapon systems in the face of evolving threats. And the Quad 50 mount serves as a great jumping off point to discuss other air defense artifacts in the museum, the Bofors gun in the Global War Gallery, and Stinger, Patriot missile systems, and the Bradley fighting vehicle, which also had an air defense role. Well, certainly helping to interpret the Army story to guests is a huge part of it. But I also appreciate the opportunity to learn from the comments and the reflections that visitors provide as they walk about and see things and ask questions and provide their own personal insights, many of them having had service of their own. So it's a two-way street, and I think we all benefit from that exchange. Well, I've had a lifelong interest in history, amplified by my service and travels connected to my service, and the opportunity to learn about lots of other things around the globe as I've gone through my military career and post-career service. I think that does a lot. It allows me to add an element of human color to the stories that are so well told by the artifacts and the displays and the AV presentations that exist in the museum as well. Stories about Army service, individual soldiers in particular, service to broader U.S. national policy goals, be it as attachés, as military diplomats around the globe, representing the Army and DoD interests, the arms control implementation business, where Army officers have played a huge role in the implementation of START, INF, and conventional forces treaties that have been a huge part of our foreign policy. Even things like security assistance. Those are jobs that often individual Army officers alone in an embassy country team environment represent Army and national defense interests in the broader context of national security policy. The pitch that I make when I talk to somebody who's considering it themselves, or a parent that is getting indications from a near adult child that they have an interest in it, is to emphasize the fact that my experience in the Army showed that you get exposed to an incredible amount of responsibility far earlier in a military career, certainly in an Army career, than you might get exposed to in other civilian persuasions. You get a lot of responsibility, you get it early. The Army, for me, provided continuous training and education that allowed me to better take that experience and employ it across the array of duties that they saw me providing value added to. The moving, which has a downside to a lot of people, to me was always exciting. I can remember relatives saying, how can you take your family and move them every 2 or 3 years around the globe, and they're not close to their grandparents, and they're not here and they're not there. And one of my common responses was, my kids learn how to adapt. They learn to be agile. They make friends quickly and deeply held friendships that they continued even after we've moved away from each other. When the history teacher talks to them in class about Stonehenge or the Colosseum in Rome or Red Square, they've been to all those places. They're not just pictures in a book. They can talk about them from personal experience. There's huge value to that. I'd like for them to ask me if I can direct them to some specific thing that they or someone close to them had personal experience with, because to me that's, apart from the huge historical value of many of the displays and the galleries, I really value the global war, the Cold War, the changing world galleries, because so many of our visitors have a personal connection to those, either through a parent or a grandparent or a sibling. And they ask me about something specific that I can direct them to, then I'm going to feel like I have helped connect them with a part of their history, a part of their family. And if it's in a gallery that I'm a docent in, then I'm happy to be there to add additional context or color, or in some cases personal experience to their experience.